that's pretty much going to be next. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. Welcome back. So, as you may have guessed, we are continuing the build of the F-22 Raptor by Italeri, 148 scale. Right there. 148. Yay. This is what, part 3 or something? I always have trouble keeping track of what part is next, or what I'm doing, like what part I'm on. I don't know why. Anyway, we have an airplane here that's looking, well, she's looking a little rough. Okay, so we got this put together last time. I put on the little panels here, 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 and here, and as you can see by the white outline on them, I've put some putty around them to fill in the obnoxious gaps that Italeri wants us to have on all our little panels. Yeah, it doesn't look good, so I had to put in some putty. And even this piece here is not the same contour as the actual fuselage. This thing has actually got like, it's concave. It's really stupid. I don't like it at all. Once again, I cannot recommend the Italeri version of the F-22. If you want to build an F-22, get it something else. Don't get Italeri. Definitely don't get Revell. Get something else. I would recommend the Hasegawa. I gotta say, I haven't built any other ones, but the Hasegawa was a good build. I enjoyed it. Everything fit pretty good, and I got no complaints. It was a bit complicated as far as building it though. So if you're in for a bit of a challenge, but only because of a little bit of complication, the Hasegawa build you're going to have fun with, and it's going to look good when it's done. Obviously I spray painted some gunmetal on the engines, and I have put in my landing gear bay doors, and I put in the center bay doors on here. These fit nice. What I did was we got a piece here, and we've got a little thin strip on the outside there. If you're watching my last video, I put that down there and I was like, wait a minute, there's a piece that's supposed to go there, and blah 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 blah. Well, then looking in the instructions, it's like, oh hey, there is a piece. Hey J-Rod. So there is a piece, and so what I did is I just glued them together. I just put them on the table, glued them together, let it sit for an hour or so, and then I put it on there. So we've got the panels on there now. As far as the intakes go, put this one on first, and it really fit horribly, as you can see with all the putty there. Looks like crap, but I did manage to get the putty filled in there and then sanded it down, and so it hopefully won't look too bad. This side I've put it on, but I haven't put any putty yet. This feels pretty good. I might put a little bit of putty just to fill in a little bit of that crack there, and a little bit up top here. As you can see, there's a bit of a gap, so that I can actually stick my long ass fingernail in, just to clean that up there. Yeah, so, and you can see right in here, right in there at the very bottom where this meets, let me put that up, right there, there's a humongous gap at the bottom of this plate. That's supposed to fit flush. Okay, it's supposed to be flush, or at least touch, like at least go down and be like touching there, right? But it's not. This side was not bad. I just had to put a little bead of putty in there and then just wipe it off, and that filled in the crack pretty nicely, but not so much on this side. So I'm gonna have to, I could just put a big bead of putty in there and then do a whole bunch of sanding, but I don't really want to do that. I do have some white plastic stuff somewhere over here. If I can, just give me a moment. The Osprey, yeah, end up in the trash. Yeah, that's Revell for you. let me find my stuff here. It's been kind of buried under my things. And it's not where I thought it was. Okay, so I do have white plastic sheets specifically for this. I just haven't used them in a long time, and so I may have put them somewhere where I'm not going to find them right now. Okay, I'm going to look for those another time. I don't want to take up time searching for plastic sheets. So while I'm doing that, I'm going to put a little bit of putty just along here and here so that it gives me something to sand down and kind of eliminate these cracks. I'm going to take my glasses off. Take my glasses off for safety. So just do that. This side does seem to line up a lot nicer, although not a huge amount. And of course, if I do a whole lot of sanding there, I'll be getting rid of some of the panel line detail, and then I'd have to rescribe it. I don't want to have to do that. Now at the same time, you may notice two big honking holes in the bottom of the fuselage here. So I did that so that I can fit this in there. And that's going to go like that. And then I can put a stand on there. So I'm going to have this. Was I on TikTok? If you're on TikTok, you can see my stuff. I didn't know you had a TikTok channel. I don't normally see TikTok. I don't know. TikTok is a weird thing. I have TikTok. I do have a TikTok account, and I never go on TikTok. It's just, I don't know. It's not really my thing so much, I guess. I never go on TikTok. So I know it's popular, it's hugely popular. It's just not something I really do. Yeah, it's just not my thing, I guess. I'm a boomer in that sense. Anyway, so I'm going to have this displayed in flight, although these doors, even though they show in the instructions that I could potentially have them closed, they just don't line up. And because, I don't know, they got nice hard crisp lines here, but then the lines here are not hard and crisp. They're more rounded and soft, and so it doesn't look good when the door is closed. It doesn't look right. Even these, they're not very good. On the front here, I got a big lip that I can, because of their jagged edge, I could cut my finger on it if I really wanted to push hard. But I don't want to sand them down smooth because it'll just get rid of that nice sharp edge on the points. It'll just round them all off, and I don't want to do that. So I figured, you know what, this plane is going to be sitting like this, it's going to be about that high off the table, and it's going to be a bit of an angle like this. So the sides here will be noticeable. You'll be able to see them in the display, but not the bottom. So I'm just going to be leaving the bottom. I'm not going to fill this in anymore. I'm just going to leave that the way it is. And I think that's good enough. And that's why I don't care too much if this is all perfect. I just want it to be a little bit smoother with not the definitive lip that is caused there. So yeah, and of course I definitely want to fix this gap. But I need to find my plastic and then just cut a little tiny strip and just put it in there, glue it, and then put some putty, and then I think I'll be content with that. So while this is setting, I was just looking at my bay doors here. I need to paint this side of these things white, so I'm going to do that so that those are prepped. I have assembled the little fins on my Sidewinder missiles, So I just need to, I'm going to leave them this color gray. I think that's a decent color for them. I do need to paint the nose gunmetal color because that's the way the A9s are. And yeah, so let me get my paint ready here and paint these white. I'll just do this so that they don't blow away with the paint. Put them on my table. Like this. If you want to see, let me get my other camera here. This camera, I don't normally have it set up, so it's not, I don't really have it ready, but let me see here. Is it this one? Nope, this one. There, so here's my little paints and my dirty socks. Don't pay any attention to those here. There. Yeah, so I'm going to paint these white, and you just do that. Do just a couple of coats. It's that's good enough, and yeah, that's good enough for now. Let's see. This plane would look awesome with the landing gear up and on a stand. Yeah, then that's what I'm doing. Speaking of, it seems that when I was a kid, all planes came with a stand. Yeah, it seems to be the trend nowadays is to always have the landing gear displayed and have the landing gear down, and then the plane is up there, almost like they want you to, I don't know, maybe do some kind of a diorama of like an aircraft carrier deck or something like that, or a runway of some sort. That's what the trend seems to be like. So let's see, this is getting a bit dry, a little bit tacky. I have to leave this like a good probably 20 minutes before it's going to dry. I just like to kind of tap it down so it's a little bit easier to sand. Okay, so, oh, I didn't mention yet, I have assembled my tail fins like this, from this side like that, and then I also got my rudders, elevators, that's it, elevators. So these things, they go in these, there's two slots right there, and they just go in like this, and that's it, and there's no movement. So you have no options for positioning them any different. The Hasegawa, however, they have pins. It's got a single pin right about there, and it just goes in, and then you can rotate it up and down whatever position you want, kind of like these. Now these things, although they move, they kind of interfere. This one is super tight against here and interferes. This thing with this one, you can't really, if I push hard enough I can get it to go down, but it doesn't really want to, especially with this piece under here now kind of stopping it from going down. It's like right up against there. It's just a terrible fit. I've got to shave that a little bit just to get that to look better. Now, of course, I'm displaying it. It's going to be kind of in an upward position, so it makes sense. I'm going to have these positioned up so that I don't really care so much that they don't go down. Like, they don't even want to go flat. It's just, they stop right about there, right? So, but that's, I'm okay with that. It's fine. It's a flaw, but it's a flaw that I don't mind. Most badass jet that you've ever seen, the landing gear on it looks weird. It does. It's a little bit complicated with the two doors that are this one opens like this and this one comes out like that. Yeah, it's I don't know. As far as landing gear goes, landing gear is kind of landing gear, right? It's not really anything special or fancy. Or I've never looked at landing gear and said that landing gear looks so cool, you know. But yeah, yeah. So there you go. My things are tacky. They are ready for a second coat. And I think that's probably just going to be good enough. I don't need to make sure that they are super white or anything like that, or that I've got, 4 coats of white to make sure it's all perfect. It's not that big a deal. So I think I'm going to mask these guys and spray some gunmetal on them. Now, the instructions show all kinds of detail on the sides of these things, but guess what? These things are molded completely smooth. Normally, missiles, you'll have little grooves of the rings that go around them and stuff like that. Not with these puppies. These are just plain smooth little cylinders, except for the little groove where you mount them. And that's it. So, yeah. Good job, guys. Good job. Trying to make sure that I put the line at the same spot on this. Here we go. Okay. And I might as well mask off the whole thing. So, the mechanic just called and said your car's fixed. Oh, well that's good. What was wrong with your car? It seems it wasn't too long ago you needed to get your car back from the mechanic for something. Okay, that's a good enough job. I don't need to worry about it too much. I get overspray on the tip, well, then I just wind up painting the rest of the missile. Alright, J-Rod, well, have fun. I hope getting your car from the mechanic doesn't cost you too much money. Take it easy. Thanks for watching. And thanks for giving me somebody to talk to for a change. Normally my chat is just silent as hell. So now, it's just me. Okay, just because I did it on the other one, I might as well mess this one up too. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to put these on here, just so I got something to hold on to and rotate them and not get paint on my fingers. Your car's got cancer. Wow, that's not good. Yeah, that's that happens a lot, eh? You fix one thing and then something else breaks. It's a common problem with cars, right? Especially as they get older. Alright, a little bit of gunmetal. One. And 2. I only need 1 coat on it. I don't need any more than that. I think that's plenty good enough. A new product you made. Take pieces of sprue and put them in a bottle of Tamiya glue. I've seen that trick for filling in things, so it gives the glue some substance. I have seen that trick online. I have yet to do it. I've seen guys do that for like filling in panel lines and stuff like that that are super thick or super wide. And yeah, I've yet to employ that trick. But yeah, it looks interesting. I think using that technique, you melted it, you need to add a little material. It works well. Sprue goo. Yeah. I think for the most part, it's not something that's really needs to be used a lot. Like, if I say, you know, if this panel line here, this gap was say 3 times the width, then yeah, I could totally see using something like that, because just using the putty is going to be delicate to say the least. Any kind of, you could accidentally sand too deep and it would just rut, right? All right, J-Rod, see you later. So using that technique, like if I wanted to fill these in for some reason, yeah, you'd want to use something that's got some good hold, and it's, yeah. So I totally see why using the sprue and the glue. Sprue glue is a good choice for that. Seen the guys using it on like almost, what you call it, like scratch built kits or something like that, or kits that are like made from the early 80s from brands that just didn't have that high a quality, and so you get a pretty terrible fit. So there we go, we have a missile with a gunmetal head. We have another missile with a gunmetal head. There we go. So those are done. There's not much more to do there. Paint the little tips of these fins, and then that's it. I think there's a couple of decals. If I look at the instructions, looks like decal number 1 will go on here, and that's it. Let's take a look here. Just a stripe. Decals 3 and 4 and everything, they're all 4. Yeah, 3, 4, 3, so 6 of those, but, oh, here we go. There's number 1. So these ones are for the sidewinders. 1. Oh yeah, so 2 and 2, there you go. So these 4 are for the 2 sidewinders. Okay, just like that. So that'll give them a little bit of detail, make them pop a little bit, that'll be good. I think I'm just about ready to do my first coat of paint on this thing to start our paint job. I'll have to mask this off because I'm going to be doing the lightest gray first, and that's basically just doing around the trim, but I don't really need to mask anything to do that, except for the engines, of course. And I'll have to take a look at what's detailed on the underside to see what is going to be the lightest gray. I know the round here is going to be, and probably this tail fin maybe all the way around here. So I'm going to want to mask or, shove a piece of foam inside my weapons bays so that I don't get that gray on the inside, because they're supposed to be white. How's this doing? This feels pretty dry. Let's try sanding it. It might be too soon. It might be too soon, but I'll find out soon enough, because it'll start coming off in globs instead of, yeah, see, it's coming off in globs. So it's too soon. Too soon, duplicitous, too soon. Okay. Which means I'm not going to be doing that, probably not today. Which kind of leaves me with the top of the plane. I could do the decals. See, this is what happens when you don't have a good plan laid out, especially when you're doing a video. Didn't have a good plan, so I'm kind of like stuck in a sense. What do I do? Well, I can paint these, because these are going to have a little trim around them, so I can do that. Definitely do that. Now, trick with these things. So I can do this. That works perfect. But is my little stand going to hold because of the weight? Should be okay. Okay, so I'm going to paint that. And this one also has that same trim around it, so I've got to paint this one. Doesn't really want to hold. So these pieces are a little bit heavy, so the clamps are kind of like, I don't know if I want to hold it. And then I got this one. So you can see the thing. And where is my other elevator? It is here somewhere. I know I made both of them. I know I did. Did I throw it back in the box and not on the desk? That's possible. Once again, where is my organization skills? I don't seem to have them today. It's not in the box. It's not in this box. So where did it go? Oh, where did my elevator go? Where could it be? It's hiding under my sanding sponges. Okay. So I don't think I need to prep the surface at all. Although, I don't know if the camera will pick this up or not. Let's see. Change angles. So let's look around. You can't really see it. So sometimes in these molds, you can see a bit of a weird, it's sort of a weird, I don't even know how to describe it. It's where you can definitely see there's been a difference or a change in the texture of the mold somehow, for some reason. This one, there's kind of a half moon circle that's right there, and the camera doesn't want to pick it up. I don't think it can pick anything. Well, maybe right there. Okay, on this camera here, right here, you can see that half moon, like right here. Just barely, just as I turn it, you kind of see it. Right there is kind of a good shot. Yeah, and this one has the same thing. If I can get the camera to see it, just doesn't want to. It'll stay right kind of there at the top here. If it stay focused on it, but it won't. Okay, camera keeps on searching for focus. Anyway, so I'm going to try this brand new can. So You always put the sticker halfway across the lid. Let's do that. Brand new can. This is the AF-16 light gray USAF. I'm going to retrieve my weapon bay doors. And we'll see how this looks. And if this comes out looking like crap, then I'll know I need to put some surface primer on it or something. So again, it's kind of subtle. It's not that much different of color. It's very close. Come on. Focus. Thank you. That's the color of this super light gray. It's doesn't look very different than the actual color that it's molded in, does it? It's close, but it's not quite the same. And of course, it's only this tiny little strip along here that's going to stay. So, yeah. I accidentally sprayed a little too close on this edge, so I'm worried that the paint's going to run. So I want to just keep it like this, because I don't want the paint to run. I don't want to have to sand it. Put it a little thick on there by mistake. So that's an oops by me, just because I got a little too close with the can, right? So let's just do this. Why don't I change the camera so you can see what I'm doing? So I'm just doing this, and because I just need to get that edge. And that's it for now, right? And that's basically done for that, except for that little spot I kind of missed. There we go. We take our last piece and do the same thing. And we're going to call that done. Okay, so that's it for these guys. So they can just sit, don't touch. You can be close, but you don't touch. Look, but don't touch, right? That's the rule. Now we have our weapon bay doors. I can take these off with the masking tape. I haven't decided yet exactly which color to do the main color on this plane. I'm still kind of humming and hawing and trying to decide which color I'm going to do for this guy. I've got such a big selection of different shades of gray, almost 50 of them. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, it's going to put this aside because I don't want to accidentally bump them. So they can sit there in the nice cool breeze of the fan and they can dry. Yeah, I haven't quite decided what shade of gray to do the main color of the fuselage. because obviously it's not going to be this color. This is too light of a color. So do I do, I don't know. I really don't know. I think I want to do, I might do haze gray, TS32. That seems like a decent color to start with. And then I could do gunship gray as the camouflage. That would be a good contrast. A big light in the dark. Light in the dark. It's a light in the dark. Yeah. Yeah. So I might do that. Something along those lines. I might not quite go as dark as the gunship. I might go maybe dark ghost gray or something like that. I don't know yet. I haven't decided just exactly what way to go on that. But I can put the light gray coat around the edge on here, on the top. It's got to go all the way around the wing here, and then this tip here and here on this side, and then the nose cone is also that same color. So I'm going to mask off my little engines here, just because I don't want to accidentally paint them. And I'm going to keep this masked also, and this little edge, because I have to look at pictures of this plane to see. Sorry guys, I've got to look at pictures to see what the color scheme on the back there is like. Simply because illustrations don't do it justice. I want the real plane to give me references on what to paint that color. And it looks to be like, I don't know yet. I don't have enough reference photographs. Okay, so what it looks like, what it looks to me is this section here is light gray, this section here is not. This section here is gunmetal-ish color, this whole thing. So this is light gray, this is not light gray. So, but this is not part of the engine either. Although the way they have this laid out like this, you might think it is, but I don't think it is. Let me look again here. No, it's not. It's just decoration. It's just decoration. It's just decoration, guys. That's all it is. This is the only part that's going to be gunmetal. And in fact, this little strip here is going to be main color. So, but we're not going to be worrying about that just now. We're just going to mask this off right here. And I might as well just mask all the way down to here so that this stays a different color. So, let's just do that. We'll be coming back later when we do the other colors to you know what I mean. You should know what I mean without me saying it. Sorry, that sounds like maybe my ex-wife. That's kind of mean. I shouldn't say that. No reason to say anything mean about my ex-wife. Okay, so I think that's good enough. My engines are covered. I don't even give a shit if I get paint in the cockpit. Okay, now that I can really see the edge of this, I'm going to shave that off because that is just horrible the way this fits. Actually, rather than going aggressive with the knife, I'm going to sand it. The fitment of this thing, just terrible. I'm glad I decided to do it now. See, like, the trailing edge of the wing is thick. It shouldn't be thick. You know what I mean? It should not be thick. Sorry guys, if I'm holding this at an angle that you can't see what I'm doing, because I can't see what I'm doing if I change the angle on. That looks a little better, although it's not great. At least looks more like one solid piece now. And this will actually go down flat now. It actually goes down a little bit lower now, so that's a big improvement, just doing that. But to shave off the underside, I'm going to do the same on this one. Terrible. Like, I mean really terrible. Just terrible fitment. Fortunately, paint will hide it. So this one will go down now, but it'll go down, but it doesn't like it. Doesn't really like it. It's touching. I kind of want to put a piece of tape on here to give me a guide to get the line straight. So I can cut it and just do something. Just because of how terrible this fit is. Shave this little more. It's better. But I'd like it more straight. That's better. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm much happier with that. Okay, so now you can see. You can see now that looks more like a proper straight line going across here, right? That's better. That's much better. This side is, well, it was already okay. So now they're a little bit even, and now these things will actually flap down, especially this side. They'll actually flap down now. So this one just not as much. But still it hits. So, but that's okay. I feel better about these things now. And I can continue on. Okay, so with that being said, let's throw some paint on this guy. So, my little fins and stuff should be okay. I just want to take a check on this guy who was threatening to run, and it didn't run. So that's good. Now, that little circle part that I was showing you earlier is still, it's still prevalent there. But what I can do is say, as long as it's the same on this one, so I can say this, the side that has that little circle, that's the underside. That's going to go boink and be hidden underneath. So I can get away with that, right? So that's all right. That's not a big deal. These guys are nice and dry. So I'll have a lot of masking to do on these guys, especially on the tail fins, because not only does this light gray go around the perimeter, it also comes down in the middle here. So yeah, we'll deal with that too. Okay, so these are done, at least for now. We're gonna spray paint our plane. Where'd my light gray go? We're going to spray paint the plane. Now, change the camera again so you get to see my dirty socks. Pay no attention to those. Okay, don't worry about those. So, I'm just going to do this, and we're going to paint. Well, I'm going to move this. Okay. Do those two tips around the perimeter of the wings. I do kind of want to get the edge. Okay. And then we're going to do this tip, this side too, and then the nose cone. Now the nose cone is not that big a deal right now, especially since might as well just do it. So I sit here and say it's not a big deal, and then I proceed to actually paint it. That's going to be good enough for a first coat. I don't think I even need a second coat, really. Of course, I did touch the paint there, so I want to clean up my finger mark. And that ought to do it for this first part. Just want to make sure I've covered the gunmetal that I got on there. And there we go. So the first coat of the really light gray is done. I'm going to try and fix the color on this camera if I can, because it seems to be a little whitewashed. if that makes any sense. Let's see. Can I fix this? Let's try this. Oh, that's not good. Maybe contrast? No. This one? No. Woohoo! How about that? Yeah, no. We don't want that. I think just leaving it around there might be just good enough. Yeah, it's just the camera's not the best quality, right? So, yeah, neither of this one or that one is. This one is the good one, but that's my close-up cam, so yeah. Okay, paint's got to dry, and so that's what we're waiting for. I don't really want to get into masking these and doing the other base coat because I haven't made a decision on it yet. Well, why don't you make a decision? Just make a decision now. Yeah, I might as well, right? Like, why not? I don't know. I gotta see. I gotta look, and I want to see. I kind of want to just leave it. I gotta think about it. I don't want to rush into changing colors and stuff like that. Because if I use a color and then I don't like it, then I gotta repaint the whole thing, and I don't want to do that. So, maybe I'll just leave it there for now. Call this part 3. And, you know, maybe we didn't get a lot of stuff done, but we got something, right? We got something done. That's the main thing. So don't beat myself up. Don't beat me up. Don't beat me up. As you can see, I've got my other missiles, but I'm not using them. I got little bombs, but I'm not using them. I'm only using the side runners. So next time I'll put some decals on these, and I will have made a decision on which gray I'm going to be using. So I'm going to leave it at that for now. And yeah, I'm going to call it a day, and we'll just get into the painting process a little bit slower than normal, because I want to show you guys the process this time. I saw your comments. I know you want to see more of the process, especially with this and with the painting. So I will show you, and that's why I don't want to just say, hey, this is what I did, and show you. I'm going to actually show you the process on this one. It's simply because once the painting is done, this build is pretty much done. So yeah, I'm going to show you. So don't have to worry about that. I will show you the process. I'm just going to call it done for today. And maybe I'll do some of the panel line wash on the inside here, just to give it some nice, you know, to make it pop. I could do. Normally I would use the black on the inside of the landing gear base and stuff like that. One thing I noticed, I actually saw a video on the Raptor online, and they're actually using like some kind of soap and water and cleaning the inside of the landing gear base. So I was kind of thinking, well, maybe black is not a good choice. Maybe I should just go with the gray, and because they don't really let them get that dirty, they keep these planes nice and clean. Which is another thing. I've seen a couple of guys building these things online, and they put all kinds of weathering on them and stuff like that, like you would with any other plane. You know, say like a carrier plane or something like that, where they get all kinds of grease and grime and stuff like that, and salt water splashing on them and all that constantly. And the Raptors, they keep them pretty pristine. You know what I mean? Like, they keep them clean. Those planes, they all look like brand new. And I think it's a testament to the coating that they have on them for the stealth. whatever paint they use that helps enhance the stealth. Um, that they keep that, they've basically got to touch that up after each flight, kind of thing, right? So it's they don't let those planes get all greasy and grimy and stuff like that. They keep them looking like brand new, right? So yeah, you can do some weathering on it, but at the end of the day, you can't do too much on the F-22 because it's not realistic. If you're trying to build a realistic model, which I think most of us are, you want it to be the way it is in real life, right? So the fact is, in real life, the Raptors are clean. And there's not a lot of dirt. There's not a lot of weathering. So I think the gray panel line, which you can't even tell on the camera because it's so bright. If I were to change my light, let's turn that one on and this one off. Now you can kind of see the panel lining and the accent in there, right? So yeah, it's that I think is good enough for weathering on the inside of my weapon bay doors. Those are ready to go on, but those are probably going to be the last thing I do, right? So that being said, my light gray color is done, which again on the camera you can't really tell much difference between this and this edge, right? But once I get my main color on there, that's really going to change. It's really going to look different. So I got to sand this down. Once this is dried hard enough to let me sand it, which might be another hour from now. So I'll just let that sit. I got to find my plastic stuff to put a little piece in there, and then that'll be it. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Thanks for coming out. Okay, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. J-Rod, thanks for giving me somebody to talk to. And you know what? If you guys followed me on Twitch, you could come on here live just like J-Rod did, and you could talk to me just like he did. And you can tell me what kind of an idiot I am, or you can tell me how good of a job I'm doing, or you can ask me what my real job is, and then I won't tell you. But my point is, follow me on Twitch, www.twitch.tv/Duplicitous_29. And you can follow me on there, and you'll get notified when I go live, and you can talk to me on here. You guys are watching me on YouTube. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. I seem to be growing my channel just a little bit. Every couple of days I see, oh, hey, I got a new subscriber. You guys are awesome. That is so cool. Thank you so much. Thank you for following me on YouTube. You can also head on over to my Instagram page too, and you can see still pictures of my builds that I do. Every time I finish a build, I take about 4, 5, 6 pictures of it, different angles and stuff, and I upload it onto my Twitter page. Did I just say Twitter? I meant my Instagram. I do have a Twitter. I don't really do anything except post on Twitter that I've got a new video out. That's pretty much my Twitter. Yeah, so thanks again, guys. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for watching. You guys are really great. So we're going to end this here, and yeah, I might be able to get on here and do this again tomorrow. So maybe I'll see you all then. But until then, we'll see you in the next one.